And this is them on 10%. When I flip up the high beams, then they're going to be at full. Let's see what that's like. Wow, that's a lot of light.
There's a road that leads right out of town.
So that reaction wasn't just for the camera. That's genuinely what I was like when I saw the light. But before I get into what these are, let's talk about what they replaced. This is what came stock on the GS. And here's what I want out of just about any aux light. I want to be able to see farther down the road. That's about it. That's the whole list. These don't do that. And here's why. They're either on or they're off. There's no dimming. There's no programming. Whenever they're on at full output. So that's fine until you realize what that actually does. All that light lands in a pool right in front of the bike instead of going down the road. Your eyes adjust to that close, bright patch. Your pupils close down around whatever's brightest in view, which is now, 3 meters in front of your wheel and not wherever your headlight's actually trying to show you. That's the problem I need solved. What I found is coming up, but if you're getting something out of this so far, do me a favor. Watch this video all the way to the end. That helps the channel more than anything else. So I knew what I needed, lights that I had some control over. The hard part was figuring out which ones. At the time, Lone Rider and Denali were the ones making the most noise in the market. Lone Rider probably had the best tech. The only problem for me is the housings were massive. They were like having dinner plates on the front of your bike. And I hate the way that looks. So I was seriously looking at the Denali D4s. They've got a lens that focuses the beam and sends it way down the road. It lets you see farther than probably anything else out there, including these. The problem is a spot beam that narrow and focused costs you diffusion. You lose the ability to see anything coming from the side of the road. And in Australia, I need that. 2 strikes against the D4s. The other one being I'm not the biggest fan in the world of Denali's build quality. And I didn't want to trade too much side of the road visibility for a few extra meters of throw. Then Steve, the guy behind a bike thing, started putting out some of the best light comparison content that I'd found. Mostly Denali versus Lone Rider, but all of a sudden Exposure started showing up in his testing. He ran a full comparison, every brand side by side, in the dark, on his bike. The guy's nuts. He was so thorough it was insane. But that's when the Radial 3 caught my eye. It really performed. It wasn't huge, it wasn't a gigantic dinner plate looking light. It was actually a really good looking light. And most importantly, it cast out an amazing amount of light. So at this point, I'm kind of locked in on the Radial 3s. But before I was able to pull the trigger on them, Steve put out another video. Exposure had just announced the Radial 6s. One look, and I was like, yep, those are the ones. They're the perfect size, great build quality. They look fantastic, and they put out a ton of light. The second a Bike Thing had them in stock, I bought them. If you're shopping for lights, go watch his channel before you buy anything. I've linked the videos down below. So what actually is the Radial 6? 6,000 lumens. It's got full easy can control. It's got one 12-degree beam in the center and 5 16-degree beams all around that. It really throws light down the road while still letting you see what's on the sides. One thing to be mindful of when you install these is you're going to get errors on your dash. Actually, you're going to get errors on your dash when you uninstall these, when you remove these lights, because these are tied into the bike's CAN bus system. And when the bike starts up and goes through its diagnostics, it realizes they're not there. And it lets you know. It gives you a couple of errors. And you either have to go to a BMW dealer to get that error cleared, or you have to have, the handheld device that you can connect to the bike to clear errors yourself. I don't have one of those. Fortunately, I had my 20,000 kilometer servicing coming up. Now, a caveat to go along with that is if the leads to the battery are slightly loose, and mine were because I installed this camera system at the same time, if you don't tighten them back down properly, it's going to throw a ton more errors to the dash. This bike really doesn't like having those battery leads be loose. So make sure they're tightened down properly and you won't have any problems. Okay, let's take a look at what's involved in installing them, and then we're going to go out on the road and see what they're like at night. Okay, one thing I unfortunately did not get on video. When you detach the stock lights, a wire comes out of them and goes up here. It runs down under here, goes under the beak, and from here it comes to the other light. Now then a wire comes from there and goes behind this panel, obviously, to a plug that's right about here. You just unplug that light. You're going to have to clip a couple of zip ties to do it. But you just unplug that and the lights are completely detached. You can buy a dummy plate for that plug, and I highly recommend doing that. You can buy that from your BMW dealer. I still don't have that plug in and I haven't had any problems yet, but I don't want to push that one too far. So this mount is for the Radial 6. In the instructions it says you have to move this to the other side. I don't think I have to do that. And there's nowhere to put it over there anyways, so I'm not going to do that. So let's just get the first one in with grace and dignity. Is that not lining up? Ah! There we go. We have a light hooked up. Now we use the wiring harness to get it back to the easy can. So this is going to follow all the rest of these down here under the gas tank like the rest of them. Oh, gotta run it under. If and I can, I don't know. Yep, it fits. What a good day. So that'll go like that. Okay, plenty of room. Yep, that's the way to go. It's gonna be tight, but I think it'll work. Okay, so that's gonna come right along here. It's gonna sneak along the frame. One more time under the gas tank. Oops, that came up a little more than I wanted it to. Can't go under the battery, but that's all right. And then we're gonna hook it up to this guy. All right, now the big test. What happens if we turn this pig on? Ah, we have light. We have light on one side. What's going on over here? Did I not clip that in all the way? All right, the moment we've all been waiting for. How do they actually work on the road? You can't really see much right now because this is a pretty well lit street, but I'm going to a darker road and we're going to get to the bottom of this. Okay, we're coming up on the not very well lit section. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so that's not bad at all. That's pretty good. That's way better than the BMW lights. So I like these a lot because what they give me that dedicated spot that shines really far up the road won't give me, I can see the sides of the road really well. If Skippy comes jumping out on me, I have a fighting chance. Yeah, that's impressive. So what I like is that it on the road, It's not just dumping a pool of light right in front of me like the BMW lights do. It's giving a pretty dispersed light that's going a fair ways down the road. So it's not stealing any brightness away from the headlight. They're doing really what the light's jobs are. They're shining down the road. Okay, so just from a basic usability perspective, they're already better than the BMW lights. And this is them on 10%. When I flip up the high beams, then they're going to be at full. Let's see what that's like. Wow, that's a lot of light. Okay, I'm happy with that. I had to shut them off. You can see there's a car coming. Yeah, this is really good. Okay, I'm enthused. I made the right decision here. Thank you, Steve. You pointed a brother in the right direction. Yeah, look at that. By the way, that's a problem there. Anytime you have a sign, a reflective sign in front of you, the light's really going to catch it. You have to be prepared for that. You have to be ready for a really bright sign to suddenly dazzle you. Yeah, these are good. These lights are the business. All right, let's go home and talk about the rest of the features. So this is what it looks like with the lights on at 20%. There's the brights. That is impressively bright. If you flick the high beam switch 3 times, I don't know what the real purpose of that is. Maybe it's when you're signaling a truck driver that it's safe to take the lane. I don't know. That one seems a little silly. But the one that doesn't seem silly, the one that does have a lot of utility to me, is when you honk the horn, the lights flash. I like that. I think that's smart. I think it has a lot of utility. I think it's going to keep us safer on the roads because it's going to get drivers' attention quicker than just a horn. And on my bike, I have the stock horn, I have the Denali split sound bomb, and now I have these too. I think that makes us a little safer on the road. Yeah. So that's the Radial 6, and it solved exactly the problem that I was trying to fix. I can see down the road now instead of a big puddle of light being splashed 10 feet in front of my wheel. If you want to check them out, they're linked below along with the Bike Things channel. Go watch his stuff before you buy anything. And just a quick disclaimer, I'm not getting anything for this from them or from anybody else. I paid full price. I just think that he's offered a great set of videos that really show you the difference between each of these lights. And I think they're worth watching. Next, I'm finally doing a breakdown of the pig strike that you saw earlier. You saw a brief clip of that in this video. That one's coming in 2 weeks. I'm going to be breaking down how long I had to react to that pig and whether or not I should have been able to avoid it. All right, well, thanks as always for coming along for the ride, and I hope to see you next time.